Hi, how are you? My name is Felgona Oyuga. Welcome to my podcast. I started a podcast. This is our second episode. So I don't know if you managed to see the first one. Check the first one. Listen, share, comment. I'd like to hear what you have to say. On this second episode, we're talking about the African woman unmasked. We're talking about femininity. We're talking about relationships with both men and women. We're talking about our image. We're talking about feminism. Just finding out what that means for us as African women trying to negotiate our way through this world in our own experiences. So owning some of these narratives and not waiting for somebody to come and tell us, this is what you should look like, this is what you should think, this is how you should love, this is how you should move. So we're opening up those conversations. So I'd welcome you to enjoy and watch this episode today. Let me know what you think. I'm new here, so I really want you guys to help me navigate this space. African womanhood is many things. It's everything. African womanhood is sensual, it's confident, it's colorful, it's buoyant, it's courageous, it's nurturing. African womanhood carries the spirits of warriors, of goddesses, of different deities. We are so many things. And what I feel is misunderstood about or oversimplified about African womanhood is that you can box us in a box and call it femininity and say this is what you're supposed to do and this is all you can do. African women can do so many things and almost nothing and still be okay. So I think that's one thing they oversimplify about us is just thinking we're just women. In fact, in my tribe, there's some derogatory term where they say just a woman. So we're not just women, we are everything. What I think African women still romanticize about relationships that keeps us stuck is the idea of hope or some magic that will come and change everything and things will just happen to you. You'll be swept off your feet. They will magically know what it is that is wrong with you or what you need. And this keeps us stuck. The idea that it gets better and it will get better by itself. So romanticizing relationships instead of putting in the work, instead of being present, will keep us stuck because you'll always be in a state of hope that one day happily ever after will happen. There's no happily ever after. Life doesn't work like that. Life works because you work it. Women are encouraged to be romantically brave and financially timid, mostly because it's easy to control a woman who is not financially stable. When she doesn't have anywhere to go, and she will not be able to live on her own, she will not be able to look after her children, then she's easy to manage. She's punishable. She's easy to shame. And so that is why African women have been encouraged to be, let the man make the plans, make the money, do the thing, and you just be there for him from anywhere. So, in fact, we even romanticize struggle love, that you are a better woman if you start with a man from nothing. And you support him, not even support your own dreams, you support him and put your things in the background. What happens then is an imbalance because you'll support him. When two people, of course, supporting one dream, what happens? The person will rise, won't he? And then he can make his own decisions and decide, oh, I don't love you anymore. I don't like women who have not gone to school, or I don't like women who are not confident. Not realizing you put everything aside for him. So it's important that women are also financially brave. Yes, I've talked about the mean girl masquerading as feminism. I think even the author Chimamanda tried to talk about it, and she got a lot of backlash online, and nobody was really listening to what she had to say, because she said, "You know what? Some of you are mean. You're not feminist. You're mean because." And she gave an example of people speaking to her and being surprised that she's kind, because everybody now has taken on that. Idea that being a feminism is just, it's pure hatred. Everything is hatred. It's them versus us. And you must follow this set that we give to you. If you don't follow this set, then you are not feminist. You are a pick me. And people are deciding for you what you're supposed to do. When the whole idea of feminism was so that women also get a chance to take part, and taking part includes having your own ideas. So my taking part can't mean that I must have the idea of this person because they call themselves a feminist. No, I can have my own set of ideas and I can move with that set of ideas, and it should not be a problem to anybody else. So why I think this feminism, or this kind of feminism, fails us, this mean girl feminism fails us, is because it really pushes the narrative of demonizing men as a whole, and us being victims, and so we must always be in a state of fighting. Are things being done that are not right? Yes, they are being done. It's I want to say men as a system, or the patriarchy. And patriarchy is not just but perpetuated by men, even women do so. So we should be fighting a system, and a system that's foreign to us. We should not be fighting each other. Of course, when things are wrong, they must be corrected. And that's what we are trying to do, but we will not move far if it becomes an extreme sport, so to speak. It becomes something that's we don't want to think. We just want to fight at all times. Sometimes we don't even know why we are fighting. So I'm more interested in African womanism. I'm more interested in looking at it from a wholesome, and that is why I also take that side of, sometimes we must figure out whether we are really fighting for the cause or we are fighting individuals. Female friendships can be difficult. I don't want to say are always difficult, can be difficult for African women because of the things that have changed. Before we had community, and it was so much easier when we had community because it was easy to get support. You gave birth, maybe you were allowed to go back home, your mother looked after you, your sisters looked after you, your cousins, your aunts, your grandmothers. So community seemed easier then because mostly anyway your community were relations. Now we come in a place where you move into an urban area, you moved to a different country, you don't know people, you all come from different places, and then now you're trying to forge some sort of community, some sort of safe space. And because people come from different places, then people carry their different ways of doing things, ways of seeing people. We have situations now because you come from different places. We are now dealing with things like racism. We are dealing with things like tribalism. And with all these two things, they give birth to many other small things that are like colorism. There are different forms of injustices being meted towards people because of these other different dynamics. So it can be difficult because we find ourselves in melting pots. So For now, I think it will be difficult. It might be easier later on as people, we grow with each other. I'm sure my daughter doesn't have the same experiences I have with friendships because they are more understanding, or they have been brought up in a situation where there were these different people. I might have been brought up in a place where there were fewer, different people from myself. My mother might have been brought up in a place where there were even fewer. And then my grandmother, where she was just, around her people. So maybe as we go along, it will be easier. But also what we must understand, and what I always insist on saying, is that people are people and women are people. So there are evil people amongst us. They are good people amongst us. They are psychos. They are, a whole mix of things. So it's not that women relationships are difficult. I'm sure even male relationships don't look the same now as they looked, 20 years ago. But because we like giving the spotlight to women, women are the worst enemies, women are wicked, women are evil. A lot of these rhetorics then, cloud what is really a universal problem. Yeah. So I don't think that women don't have stable relationships. Some have. They can be hard, not that many are hard or that they are all hard. But a healthy community can come up, and we are seeing them coming up. We're having different spaces where women are able to get together and talk openly and realize that, we're actually suffering some of the same things. Might realize that some have experience that they can share with others to help help them have better experiences in life, in relationships, at workplaces. But it's something that must be worked on. So healthy community looks like women coming together, women giving each other a chance, women not deciding that their brand of feminism is the be it and, be all, and everybody else who's trying to do anything different doesn't know what they're doing. So we need spaces where we're understanding, and we are seeing it. It will take time. Nothing happens overnight. They didn't destroy us in one day, so it won't take one day to build. But we will build, and we will have healthy communities. Body image and colorism. It has become, like right now, it's a pandemic. We are going through a lot of things right now. There's a lot of discourse online. Of course, people who think they know everything, and those who don't know everything, and those who don't know everything also thinking everybody is saying something, everybody has something to say. But the minute somebody makes you alter your body, and you're not ill, so nobody has even, because there's no way somebody say you need to be lighter skinned to operate better. I know we have a lot of things where we say, I have the choice, it's my choice, it makes me happier. My mother always told me when I was younger that your life is not your life. It's so easy these days to throw, it's my life, I'll do whatever it is I want. But as you grow older, you realize it's not your life. And let me tell you, one of the few examples, the real near examples. When somebody dies, you're going to get involved. If you're a friend, if you're a relative, if you're a colleague, and sometimes even if you're just general public, because how many times have we even donated to somebody we saw online? We don't know who the person is from a can of paint, but they're here, and this person has his mother and he needs to bury his mother. And what will he do? He doesn't know where to bury his mother, and he's alone. He can't say it is his life. It's all our problem, because our problem. He's a stranger to me, but he becomes my problem. And I think about him and I say, oh my God, okay, let me give my 50 shillings. Let me give my 100 shillings. It comes closer to home. It is a brother, it is a sister, it is a cousin, it's a grandmother. Let me tell you, sometimes it's even an in-law to my grandfather. My grandfather's sister-in-law has died, and it becomes my problem. So when you live with society, and my father also used to say this a lot to us, we expect your cooperation. Expecting your cooperation means what? It means not putting yourself in harm's way. Because listen, there's some procedures that we are doing right now in the name of wanting to live our lives and not caring what other people think, and thinking we are liberated, not realizing it is actually a prison, because now somebody is policing your body. Somebody is telling you that you're not beautiful because you're dark skinned. Somebody is telling you you're not beautiful because you're not light skinned. Somebody is telling you you're not beautiful because you don't have the big calves, you don't have the small waist, you don't have the big breast, you don't have the everything. You are operating on somebody's timeline. They're the ones who decided the standards of beauty, but you think it's your own life. And some of us are doing some very harmful procedures that will come to haunt us. And listen, when you have gotten rid of all your melanin and you're under our hot Kenyan sun and you have cancer, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a government problem, because now we'll have many people, the cancer rates go up, whatever. So it's going to be a government problem. It's going to be a county problem. It's going to be a constituency problem. It's going to be a church problem, a family problem, a ward problem. It trickles down. You're going to be everybody's problem. So now it might look like it's my life, I don't care. And there are people like trying to shut others up. And those who are talking about it don't have money. You are just exposing your insecurities around your money and your looks. Yeah. So not everything has to be because I don't agree with you, because he doesn't have money. It's because she has never gone to, I don't know, Diani. It's because that's childish. Let's grow up a bit and think, because a lot of the things sometimes we think that we are doing because we are liberated are actually entering somebody's box, because these people then decide what you do. It costs you money to put the hips. It costs you money to remove your color. It costs you money to be who you are not. And that's what now they're going to use. So tomorrow, once you have changed the color, then, if all of you now are brown, then I need you to be black so that they can continue making money. So sometimes take some time and think. A lot of us, and I'm not blaming anybody who feels it, and it must be sad to be in your body and you are healthy, but not love yourself. And I'm sorry that you got to that place. Nobody should ever feel that they're not okay, that they're not enough, that they must do something life-threatening to be seen. That is I think is a problem maybe that society has caused. And maybe we should start thinking about it so that it is not something that goes on. African women glorify suffering in relationships and endurance. In fact, somebody once posted and said that they would never take marital advice or any relationship advice from an African woman. And in fact, she said an African Christian woman, because it's for suffering. I think most of these things come with a lot of the religions that we accepted, because we think that if we suffer, then the reward will be greater somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know who has come back with the medals to show us, but apparently, the more suffering you endure, the greater the reward. So we like to suffer. Then add on to it that marriage is an achievement. So you want to stay there no matter what, so you will struggle there. So you find very many women doing the most, and most of it is suffering. It must be taking something out of you. It must be sacrificial for it to make sense to you. African relationships, I think, are easier than we think, or that we give them credit for. Because when two people like each other and they want to be in that place, they don't even follow these sets of rules. They don't even follow those gender rules that people come with that say that, women must wash dishes and men must read newspapers. It changes everything. When two people like each other, they just do whatever they need to do for each other. And it looks like many things. You hear stories of many women who say, from the time they met their husbands or they got married, their husbands will always wash their underwear. You'll find women also doing the same. For them, they will wash their husband's underwear and plus the underwear. You'll find that the man insists that he does the cooking or he does the Sunday cooking. And people just to relax. You'll find that, different things. So when we try to box ourselves in things, is when you find that there's that suffering and that struggle in relationships where it doesn't have to be. The most important thing, I think, for an African relationship is that two of you like each other, love each other, and want to be there. Yeah. And then everything else you will figure out. You will find out that there is no manual on how this thing is supposed to work or look like. This is a very interesting one. How my speaking up about culture, sex, divorce, womanhood has affected how people perceive me. One, very many people think I hate men. I don't even understand how that works, but apparently I hate men. And it's not true. I don't hate men. Others think I'm very angry. I'm a human being. I get angry. I'm not angry always, but you can be sure that there are times I will get angry. You must be bitter. You're full of regrets. I don't know which human being doesn't have a regret or regrets. But of course, there are things I look back on and I'm like, this didn't work. This I'm still upset about. This I haven't gotten over. So I find that a lot of people want to shame me into silence. It's uncomfortable. I mean, I put up a post on Facebook the other day and said, people think that I just woke up one day in the morning and decided what I'd like to do is talk about uncomfortable things, and look crazy and lose friends. I know people might not even think that happens, but I've lost friends over my stand on certain things or wanting to speak up on certain things. But that's not the truth. It's because there are certain things that happen to me that I don't feel should be happening to people. There are things that I have seen happen to other people that should happen. There are experiences that I've had or have not had because of some information that I had or didn't have. There are conversations that had I had or had I been privy to earlier in life, I might not have been in some situations that I have found myself in the recent past or in the past. So I talk about them despite the fact that people will take me however they take me. And I've had to understand that people will only understand you from their point of healing, from their point of self-realization, from their point of insecurities or lack of, people will see you through what it is that they're going through. So I can't take it personally. I've been open and sometimes listened and sometimes blocked, depending on how it is presented to me. But it will not stop the conversations we must have. Because at the same time, with all the negativity I've got, there's been a lot of positivity. There are people, I believe, who would have gone a different route and that would have caused even, life, that would have been life-threatening. There are people who have had better experiences. There are people who have said, at least I'm not crazy. Somebody else sees what I'm saying. So the perception has been both positive and negative. And I like the negative. I like the positive more because if one woman gets to live her life authentically, what else? How many hate comments can rival that? So consumerism, yes, is becoming a religion. Yeah, for modern African women, we are at the point of just wanting to be exhibitionists. We are not interested in impacting people. We're not interested in even motivating people. We are more interested in showing off. Everybody wants to curate a life that's based on a lie, just to show everybody that I'm doing better. But life isn't like that. And what it cost African women a lot, and a lot of women who've been online, it has cost them their mental health, because you can't live a lie that long. I mean, because it first of all needs you to lie to yourself, which is not easy, because first of all, you're just like, no, how can I just be gaslighting myself like this? And so you're there gaslighting yourself, and it's not true, and you're not happy, and this man doesn't love you, and that you don't live in this place, and that you can't afford this, and so many things, but you're there gaslighting yourself and creating something and doing everything in your power to buy that life. You can't afford it, you end up in a lot of debt. You are then constantly panicking. People are threatening you all over the place, want to expose you. People are doing the most for you. It costs us a lot. It costs us authentic living, because not everybody can live a certain life. And first of all, do you even want that life? So we need to get to the point where we accept our lives where they are. Nobody's saying that because you accept where you are, that's just where you're going to be forever. But you accept where you are. And then you find out what you can do with where you are to move on to the next level. But your life cannot be a constant show for people, because that's when you fall into that trap of consumerism. That's when now you must look for money, beg, steal, and borrow, so that you can be on that business class trip, so that you can take photographs for people. You must beg, steal, and borrow, so that you can be seen at a certain hotel, be seen wearing a certain shoe. I mean, who has that type of bandwidth? Nobody has. So it's costing us our authenticity. It's costing us our presence. You're not even present in your life. You're not present even in your loved ones' lives, because everything must be a show, everything must be a production. It's costing us everybody else. Your stories, the good stories that you'd be telling us, the real stories, the inspiring stories that you'd be telling us. So we need to really rethink priorities. A single truth to a woman starting over, whether it's financially, economically, emotionally, romantically. I've been in all those. The single truth. Will I be able to say a single one? Allow me to give you a small paragraph. I'd say starting over doesn't mean you're a failure. Starting over means you get a second chance, and this time with experience. And that you are able to do it over should count as a blessing. Give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Center yourself. Because you realize that the more you do for yourself, the kinder you are to yourself, the better decisions you make. If you take your time, you make better decisions. If you don't move on somebody else's schedule, don't compare yourself to anybody. Don't ever sit down and say, even if that other person is also starting, even for the second or the third time, you can't compare yourself to somebody, because you don't know what they have. You could be comparing yourself to somebody who has support, family support. You might not have family support. You might be comparing yourself to somebody who has children. You don't have children, or somebody doesn't have children, you have children. You might be comparing yourself to somebody who has an education, you don't have one. Somebody who has a job, you don't have one, or vice versa. So you can't compare yourself to anybody. Your journey must be uniquely yours, but not to say that just because it's uniquely yours, that you cannot borrow something from somebody's story. You can watch somebody's story and find out, oh, okay, they did this, and then you kind of adopt it to yours. It can be copy-paste, or it can be, you tweak it a bit, or it can even inspire something even different to you. So start over with no shame. You must learn that, You must learn to live with shame. But the shame must not be from you. You must not shame yourself. You must get over that. You must learn to live with people not understanding you. You must learn to live with people judging you, looking down on you, snickering at your efforts. But you must be proud of your story, because at the end of the day, you don't live this world with anything, but you live your story in this world. And that's how you live forever. Your eternal life is people speaking your name. And how they will speak your name is if you have a story to tell, if you inspire people. So live your life the best way you know, being so gentle with yourself, putting yourself first, baby yourself, talk very kindly to yourself, and you'll find that the starting over gets easy. And just the fact that you know that whatever happens, you can start over. And also just knowing that you've survived round one. Maybe all you have to survive is round one, but there's sometimes maybe it's round two, round three, round four, But knowing that whatever happens, you can start over and you'll survive. Hey, so if you've made it to the end, you're my people. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Kindly, there is a subscription somewhere. Watch, share, comment. I'd really like to listen to your feedback, to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think we should talk about on our next episode. This podcast is available now only on YouTube, but we're working on other channels, so stay tuned. Other than that, you can find me on all the socials as Falgona Oyuga. You can find my books at Nuria Bookshops and on Amazon. So please look for your copies there and join and buy your copy. Other than that, have a great week. I look forward to seeing you again next week for our third episode. We are getting somewhere.